Good morning, good morning. Man, it's your guy, Jesus Hawthorne. I'd like to welcome y'all to Talk That Talk 254. Man, y'all gonna love today's, man. We got the big dog on. Coach Joe from the Waco Southern Panthers, Joe Cobb. Give me a second, man. Cut the music down. There you go. There you go. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, buddy. What's up?
Hey, bro. This out here, man, trying to help the people, man. We're about to serve the people with some good information, man, good dialogue. For an individual like yourself, man, people definitely need to hear from you. And so, like, I got some quick questions, man. Some quick questions, man. People definitely want to know. They need to know. So, before we even really deep jump into those questions, man, we're gonna go ahead and do like an introductory. Uh, go ahead and give some people a shakedown of your background. So, one thing everybody want to know: are you prior service also?
Yes, I am prior service. I'm retired at the Army.
You retired out the Army, okay? So you did the whole 20?
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Well, 19 years, 8 months.
19. Hey, brother, that sounds like 20. That sounds like that's 20 to me. That definitely sound like 20 years. How many kids do you have?
I got two boys, and then the rest are in liquid form.
2 boys, okay. In regarding your boys, what are their ages?
I got an 11-year-old who's in 6th grade. He'll be in 7th grade next year, starting middle school ball. And then I got a 16-year-old who's a sophomore up here at Lake Belton.
Awesome. Okay. Big dog. Okay. I definitely seen him because you post a lot of pictures of them working out in regarding of the sports and stuff that they are linked into. I know powerlifting for the older boys definitely one of them. Because he up there lifting heavy stuff. So how long have you been in the 254 area code community?
I want to say a little over 20 years. So I was at Hood the first time.
A little bit over 20 years. So basically.
And then when I came back to Hood, it was in, when was that? 03, during the height of the war. And then between the deployments and everything else, I was lucky enough to just move units to stay here because my wife had her career. So.
Gotcha. Well, with that being said, I guess the caveat is, how long have you been a volunteer youth coach?
I started in 2012 with the Bell County Blaze. My buddy, who actually lives around the corner, his sons are a couple years older than my boys. They're about 5-7 years older. And he was coaching, and we were in his backyard, barbecuing, having a beer one day, and he's like, "Dude, why don't you help out?" And because they practiced right there at Lake Belton Middle School, and I walked over there, met a couple guys, saw how they were doing business. They seemed legit, and like some good people. So that's how I got involved.
Awesome. So going from Lake Belton Blaze to being one of the staples of the Southern Panthers, how did that transition happen?
I first met Cleo and Gamble when I was with the Blaze. We were going against them for a couple years, and the first year we were coaching in the Battle of the Border, the All Stars together. That's when one thing about the Battle of the Borders is that's when coaches actually get to meet other coaches, kind of like showcase, and you see, besides your competitive side, you you kind of meet the kind of man that person is. When the Bell County Blaze folded because of incidences, several organizations reached out to me to join theirs. Um, I was talking with Cleo about Waco Southern, and um, I was telling him about the issues I had with my old org. He showed me some stuff, and I was like, all right. I went home, talked about it with the wife, said, hey, look, I know it's up in Waco, 25 minutes away, but instead of 5 minutes. And the next day at showcases, the next weekend at showcases, yeah, you know what? We're coming up. He said, really? I said, yeah. I called him. And that next showcase practice, he walked up to me with a Walmart bag, said, welcome to the family, and had T-shirts for me, my sons, my daughters, and some other things.
Yeah,
I've been with them
man.
my, 6th year with them now. So,
All right, awesome. Hey, man, as you can tell, man, Cleo, man, he runs a first class organization, man. He handles business on every, in his own words, man, off the muscle. He gonna handle his business first class all the way, man.
he's good people.
All right, awesome, awesome, most definitely. So you say you've been over there for about 6 years, going on 6 years?
Yeah, this was my 6th year with them.
Okay, okay. Well, well, with that being said, we'll go ahead and kind of move into this question because you said you've been youth coach since 2012. So that's a nice little period of time. What have been some of the major changes from the time when you first start coaching youth sports into now that you have noticed?
All right, this is going to be a long answer, bro.
Hey, man, we got plenty of
All right.
time, man. We got plenty of time.
First, I'm going to say is the adults, okay? And I'll start with the parents first.
Okay.
I noticed the parents within the last 3 years have more of an entitlement mentality, like their kids entitled to a certain position, or they're entitled to be on a certain team, or they have this huge entitlement program and or mentality, not program. And I try to explain to them that your child's, I said, you pay your fee for whatever organization you're going to play for. The only thing your kid is entitled to is coaching, fundamentals being developed, and that's it. Okay? Kid's not entitled to so much playing time. Your kid's not entitled to be a certain position. Also, we've caught numerous people trying to, I'd say, join Waco Southern. And we know what parents don't realize is most of us coaches get along.
Yeah,
From
we
Waco,
absolutely do.
Temple and Belton to Killeen to Austin, and some of us even got connections in San Antonio and Dallas and Houston.
Yep, yep.
So don't come up and tell me, oh man, we want to join the Panthers. I was like, oh yeah, cool. What position your son play? Oh, he was the running back for the Chiefs. No, you. What age group? Nah, man, no, the hell he. I know who the running back was. Two, if you say continue, man, I'm friends with Polo. You know what I'm saying? Polo, you know this kid? He was your running back. I know that kid. He's like, hell no. I said, I didn't think so.
Oh wow.
You know, so that. The other thing with adults is, I want to say, are these younger coaches, the newer coaches. Some of them bring excellent modern drills compared to what I say. So I call us old school guys, old school drills.
Yeah.
Some of them bring great modern philosophies, and plays, and formations, that some guys are just stuck in the wing T, where a lot of guys, they're stuck in the jet sweeps and stuff, right? And at certain age groups, yeah, that can work. Against certain teams, yeah, that's great. But when you go against an organization that preaches discipline on defense, it's not going to work because the kids aren't chasing. They're staying home in their lanes or in their responsibilities, waiting for like the CCRB, to contain counter, reverse, bootleg,
Yep.
And the problem with the newer coaches is They don't want to learn from us old dogs.
Mm.
They think they know everything because, okay, yeah, you played high school or college in the last 5 years, and most of us ain't played since, when I say old dogs, since the 90s and early 2000s. I mean,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
um, it's youth football. You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
No.
You got to get the line to block. You got to get the running back to hit the right hole, not just run left, run right. Actually teach them the holes and how to hit a hole, how to carry the ball, how to receive a ball, you know. And I notice also with younger coaches is, yes, there's a kid that has potential, but they don't want to spend the time developing that kid.
Mm.
They'll see, a 5'2", 150-pound 9 or 10-year-old, and yes, he's a guard, and he's a guard no matter what organization he goes to. And they're like, oh, he's soft, he can't block. Well, he doesn't know how to fucking block.
Yeah.
That's on you as the coach. Teach that kid how to get in the block. Teach him to block, right? Or they're like, oh, Joe has him in a 2-point stance. Yeah, he's in a 2-point stance. You know why? Because he's too fat and he doesn't have the hamstring. No, you're laughing, but it's true. He
It's
doesn't have
true.
the,
It's absolutely true.
he doesn't have the strength in his thighs. You know what I mean? So in practice, yeah, you make him do 3-point stance. But on game day, so the kid gets confidence, put him in a fucking 2-point stance so he can slide his feet laterally and have the confidence to block a kid. And now you built the confidence. Now you're what? Oh, gaining trust with this kid. And now the kid will develop to what you need him to be.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It made absolutely great sense.
But a lot of these newer, younger, I say younger because I'm 50. I'm pushing 50 this year.
Hey, I'm right behind you, brother.
I want to say,
We all great beard around this joke.
but I want to say the guys like 35 and below, they want that already made kid. And sometimes you got to mold them yourselves to what you need and for that kid's success. And then,
Okay.
over the last couple of years, parents get their mindset on a kid's position. And I can say this with confidence with my own son. I can say this with Cleo Kirkland's son, D-Train, who's a 4-star athlete.
Yes, sir.
Parents, middle school and below, you don't know where the hell your kid's going to play at the high school level. And I say this because my kid growing up, he was a little undersized. He played wide receiver, corner, and safety all the way through youth ball because that's where he fit size-wise and speed-wise. He went to middle school. Next thing you know, he's the starting running back at his middle school for 7th and 8th grade on 18. Why? Because he was smart. He ran hard, and that was from his development playing competitive youth football. Then he's a freshman, and he's middle linebacker. In BB as a freshman. Okay, cool. Now as a sophomore, they got him at D end, and now he's fighting for a starting spot on varsity this year. So, and then they move him from D end, D tackle, and they move him up and down to D line. You don't know where your kid's going to end up. You do not know. You can have trainers and train them to be a quarterback, a running back, a linebacker. You don't know. And yes, my son's not a big recruit, okay? But he works his ass off and he's getting his PT. Now you take someone like D-Train, who's a 4-star recruit. When D-Train was in youth football, at the 8U level, at the 6 and 8 level, he was the quarterback because at the time he was pretty much the smartest kid for the Panthers at those age groups. Then in 10 and 12, he played what? Running back. They threw him in slot. He played a lot of middle linebacker, outside linebacker. He played all over. Kid went to middle school. Where does he have middle school for 2 years? The fucking quarterback over there at Cesar Chavez. Then as a freshman, he's what? He made varsity as a cornerback. Kid didn't really play corner Panthers all those years I was there. The 3 years that he was there, that I was there. He never played corner. You know what I mean? He did coverage at outside linebacker, but he was never a corner, right? Now he's a 4-star recruit at safety. So here's a kid, right? You see my point.
I absolutely see your point. I'm glad I'm glad you saying it, and I'm hoping that a parent is going to listen to this and take notes. Keep talking, bro.
End up. I had kids that were little chunky butts at 8 and 9 and 10 years old that were my centers and guards that end up being my running backs on 12U when I was with the Blaze, right? And then the kid ends up being what? A goddamn corner and outside linebacker at the high school level. Now he's up playing college ball, you know. Now some kids it's easy. You can tell, okay, they're probably a lineman their whole life. The daddy's 6'2", 300 pounds, and the kid's always going to be big. Yes, there's kids you know that they're stuck on the O-line or D-line, but you don't know where. You don't know if they're going to be center, the guard, the tackle, D-tackle, D-end. You don't know.
Okay.
So
I got a quick question. How important in today's game do you think outside development, outside of your youth organization, how important is that for a parent to invest in a child? Whether you paying somebody to do it or whether you're learning how to develop your child, how much how important is development outside of youth practices is as important to that child?
I think it's extremely important. I think that kids should have strength and conditioning training outside of their organization or outside of season. Um, and I'm not just talking football. I'm talking baseball, basketball, whatever that child's sport is. You know what I mean? Wrestling,
Mhm.
whatever. Um, I'll talk mostly football and wrestling because that's what my sons do. You know, and
Oh, okay.
you know, um, the kids need to learn the technique. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Let's be honest. I don't know everything about offensive line. Never have, never will. You know,
Okay.
there's someone that can teach one of my players some kind of technique that can improve their game, and they can have an extra tool or skill in their belt when they play games, whether it's for me, their school, whatever. So coaches need to stop being like, "Oh, that's my guy." You know that. No, we don't own these kids. The parents own these
Yeah,
kids.
absolutely.
You know, I have players who I did my best to develop them, and then I couldn't develop them anymore. So they go to other guys. You know, they go to Big Mike. They go to trainers in Austin. They go to fancy camps. You know, to learn more advanced techniques, and that's fine. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I don't feel less of a man or less as a coach. You know, prime example, guys like that is like Freight Train and Big Mondo. You
Yeah.
know, so coaches need to get out their damn feelings about some of this shit. You know what I mean?
I really appreciate the fact that you actually spoke on that you humble enough to understand, hey, this is where my skill set is at. I can get a kid to hear, and you more than willing, happy to hand them off to somebody that you know that has more, that has the ability to do more to take them to the next level. Man, ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey, coaches, understand, ain't nothing wrong because if you really here for the kids, that's the whole point. You understand, hey, this is where I'm at. I'm about to hand them off so he can get to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nothing wrong. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But in regarding of strength and conditioning, from uh, what would you recommend? Okay, what would be the age group that you would recommend weight training?
Well,
'Cause that's
this is how I do. This is how I did my sons, right? And it's how I'm doing my 11-year-old now, right?
okay.
He started off with the 45-pound bar,
Okay.
and he does that. He did
At
that.
what age?
He's 12. He started at um, he's 12, so 11. I started him at 10 with the
Okay,
40.
at 10 years old, that's when he started off with the 45-pound bar. Okay.
Okay, and he bench presses 45-pound bar, right? And then because I'm not trying to build mass on the kid, right? He still
Yeah.
has weights. I'm just trying to get his muscles and his tendons, get them the memory of that movement. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Once he can do that weight 20 times in a row, Then I add on each side, basically 5 pounds, a 2.5 on each side. You see what I'm saying? So now instead of 45 pounds, yes, 50 pounds. And then we do our workout. And then once you can do that 20 times in a row, then guess what? We take 2.5s off, and then I add a 5 on each side. You know, my youngest son right now, he's a little skinny guy, and he's measurements wise, he's an undersized kid for football. He's barely 5 foot, and he's 87 pounds, right? But he's quick. But guess what? He's 87 pounds, but he can bench 120 twice.
Oh.
Yeah. That's what he works out with right there.
Oh, okay. What would you?
Anyway, if I can move the camera and show you the weights, right? He's got the 45-pound bar plus a 10 on each side and a 5 on each side. So he's got 10, he's got 30. So he works out with 75 pounds. 5 sets, 5, incline, decline, and flat bench. And in between each set, he does 50 sit-ups. That's just
add in that core. Yeah. Full body, full upper body workout, full torso. Okay, so I'm asking this question for the parents. So you kind of broke it down. You just start introducing weights to your kid till he was about 10 years old for strength and conditioning. So what would you recommend for parents that probably got that 4 to 5-year-old and they are preparing them, what I'm saying, for sports and just basically overall strength and conditioning? What type of exercises would you recommend for a young parent to introduce their child to?
Body weight, pull-ups.
Body weight, pull-ups.
Pull-ups, or if you can't do a pull-up, you hang there for 10 or 20 seconds as long as you can, let them down. Ladders, footwork drills, push-ups, sit-ups, no weights. Just,
no weights.
If he can,
let
me tell you, if a 10-year-old can do 15 good push-ups, a 5-year-old, that's pretty damn impressive. Like military push-ups. I'm not talking to sag your hips.
The snakes, yeah. Not snaking, but plank style, up and down, tight back push-ups, man. Tight across the shoulder push-ups.
Just body weight for them kids.
Yeah.
All
right. Hey, man, we're just out here trying to inform the parents, man. Because you got a great reputation of dealing with kids, how to develop kids down there at the Waco Southern Panthers. So we just dropping some gems for them to know. So I heard you were speaking on D linemen and some of the fundamental and things that they need to know. I also heard that you are the founder of the Central Texas Trench Wars.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, how long have you been involved in that, and what made you create the Trench Wars? What was the motivation behind that?
Okay, well, this is our 3rd season at Trench Wars. What made me create it was, Eric has this 7-on-7 league.
Yes, sir.
The first 2 years the Waco Southern Panthers were involved in it, right? We had kids come and join our 7-on-7 team. But they were linemen, right? And I'm sitting here thinking, like, why is his ass out here running routes when you know damn well he's a guard or a D-tackle? He's slow, he can't catch, right? But he's out there, he's getting work, right? So he's getting some kind of exercise, right? But on game day, what are they doing? Sitting on their knee, snapping the damn ball, right? Unless you're up by 20 or 30, you know what I mean, in the second half of these speed games. So basically, what were the linemen getting out of 7-on-7? Not much. Just some conditioning, right or wrong.
Some conditioning. Yeah, just working out, conditioning.
And of course,
hand-and-eye coordination, just in case they might move to a tight end. But unless you already a tweener between a tackle and a tight end, yeah, you're just getting mostly conditioning.
So, and of course, parents, don't blame them. They paid their money, come to practice. A little pudgy ain't getting much playing time right now. You know what I mean? Especially during tackle when they see them on both sides of the ball. You know what I mean? Or at least one side playing the whole game. So I came up with Trench Wars. I said, all right, we got to stop this bullshit, right? Let's develop these linemen. Why we doing 7-on-7. And face, there's families where one kid's a skill and one kid's a lineman, whether they're twins a couple years apart, whatever, it doesn't matter, right? How do you make it easy on the families? Okay, we'll do lineman challenge. When I got with Eric and made up a basic plan at the exact same time and location as 7-on-7 league. That way, it's easy for the coaches, for the orgs, and it's easy for the parents. So they can bring little Joey over to lineman challenge and take little Johnny over to play 7-on-7. You know what I mean?
707.
Easy as possible for these parents.
All right. Now, one thing that I've noticed, I've been here since I came back. I'm born and raised in Waco, Texas, for those that don't know. That's why I say talk that talk 254. But when I came back to Fort Hood in by 2017, I noticed there was like a major gap in lineman play from offensive lineman, defensive lineman from the Metroplex cities. So like I was noticing a lot of the local high schools, like they'll dominate their district. Then all of a sudden, when it was time to come play a team out of district, they was getting absolutely wiped when it came to O line and D line play. Now,
And they still do.
and they still do. So, what do you think that caused? Because in my time in the 90s, I'm class of 95, we was pretty dominant when it came to line play. You know what I'm saying? What do you think it caused that major gap that Central Texas has versus the Metroplex, and what could be done to minimize that gap?
Okay, well, man, where to start? There's a lot to talk about this.
Hey man, let's talk that talk, man. Let's get to it.
Okay, so Killeen, I would say from Killeen to Waco, right?
Mm-hmm.
We produce very good athletes at the high school level to go play. You notice schools like Temple every year putting kids into at least a kid into a Power 5 school. They're sending 5 or 6 kids on to play again at the next level, whether it's JUCO, D3, D2, NAI, it don't matter. If your kid's going on to the next level, stop worrying about being D1 only.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at all these schools right now, we have outstanding athletes, whether it's Waco Midway, University, Lake Belton's got some, Temple's got some, Shoemaker's got some, Ellis's got. We got these great athletes. Why? Because everybody only cares about the damn athletes.
Mm.
Think about the youth level.
Yeah.
Everybody wants that best fucking running back. Everybody wants that best quarterback. Everybody wants that best linebacker. How many orgs years have you seen have consistent good lines? I'm going to tell you right now, I can only name 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not being conceited. The Chiefs always have a good line, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Panthers always have a good line, right?
Yep.
The Gators, the last 4 years, always have a good line. And lately, the Wranglers.
Right. Okay.
Those 4 orgs consistently have a good line because they have coaches that invest in them a little bit. You know what I mean? And I say a little bit, but invest in line play. You know what I mean? They have actual coach line.
So what you're saying from the youth level,
Mm-hmm.
we from the youth level, we have to get to the point where the coaches is making the O line and the D line something to be proud of. We have to start giving our kids more recognition. We got to start giving our athletes more time in development, not just sitting there patting the quarterback and the running back and the wide receivers on their head and the DBs and the linebackers. We got to start creating a stronger emphasis of the line is something that you should be proud of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I'm gonna be honest, because I seen it too. I'm glad you said it first, because I seen it too that you have a kid that, hey guy, you're gonna be you have the potential to be a dominant lineman on this team in this league, but they want to be a tight end because they don't believe they get the type of recognition. Kids want the recognition.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you saying from the organization through the coaches to the parents, we have to start giving these kids more recognition of the good work that they can do on the line. So that way they'll take pride in it.
Exactly.
They'll take pride in it. and then it'll snowball to through middle school, then all the way to high school. Because what's so crazy? Because even in high school, I remember everybody wanted to be the big guy on the D line, the big guy on the O line, because of that. Because you a big guy, you a big massive guy. Like when I was in high school, we had Anthony the Great, we had Dwight Johnson. It was a few guys. Like if you just naturally had that build, you was 6'3", 250 plus. You know, people just naturally just like almost like a moon, like like people just kind of gravitated, like, oh dog, that's the big dog right there. But
Mhm.
now, like you said, like people, it's all about the quarterbacks, the running backs, and the wide receivers, and the DBs. It's like why people don't emphasize the big guy, and and that may be the reason why there has been a shift of kids not taking that much pride in it, because we're not giving them enough, not celebrating that position enough.
And then
So go
look
ahead.
in the off season. How much
Okay.
shit is there for the skill players? There's all kinds of things.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
even some of these camps, hey, come to this camp. Well, it's a skills camp. Well, what about the fucking linemen? Right?
Yep.
Oh, come to this training. Okay. You've got 30 trainers between Waco and Killeen, but how many of them actually teach linemen?
Mm.
What, 2 or 3?
So you're
But you,
saying there's a big need for lineman training. So
yes,
for those that's listening, if you got prior, if you have a lineman skills that you can help the youth develop, man, there's a need for you. There's an absolute need from you. Am I hearing you correct, Joe? I don't want to be putting no words in your mouth.
there's a big need for you. And you don't have to be with one of the power organizations. You can go to one of these organizations, take the wins out of it, and you could be developing kids down there, you know what I'm saying, at what we call not the so strong organizations or smaller
Mhm.
orgs, and you can still be developing those kids
Okay.
and take the wins and losses out of it. You're trying to help that kid so he can progress and be successful, at the high school level. I'm not gonna say the middle school level because don't get me started on that. But you know,
Well, we got to start from the youth, and hopefully that the culture that we develop in the youth, that it'll carry the kids through middle school and to high school. But
exactly.
most definitely, we have to bring the love of the no line, no shine mentality back to the Central Texas area, man. Because
And why can't we
it
run? Why can't we run with the Duncanvilles? Right? It's because we get our ass kicked in the trenches. And I
absolutely.
oh well, they got 12 guys that are all 6'3", 300 pounds. That shouldn't matter. When we played, I played big schools up in PA, right? Used to play Berwick. They were national champs 2 years in a row.
Mhm.
They had monsters. Now, me, I was a fullback. I wasn't one of the trench monsters, right?
Yeah,
But guess what? I'd be ramming them bastards as hard as I could, you know? And our linemen would be in there fighting, right? And yeah,
mhm.
so a hold call once in a while. So what? You're in there fighting. Nowadays, the linemen, they just, some of them ole, and some of them, they just do the first ram for 1 second, get blown up. Like, we're, you
Yeah.
know? And
But that rolls back to the training from the physical to the mental. Once you
exactly.
start developing, and one thing I've seen for myself, once you start developing them physically, it naturally builds up their confidence mentally. So that's why a lot of that weight training that you were speaking of, hey, that's why it's so important, parents. That's absolutely why it's so important, because it ain't nothing like that first time. And Joe, you can speak on that. That first time when you start lifting weights, you start catching that indention in your chest, or you
and
look around, you see you got the horseshoe showing up. Man,
it,
it changed your whole mentality as a child. You feel like you stepping in directly into manhood. So it all works together. It all works together.
and the girls start knowing,
You know.
oh, look at this. Yeah.
Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely, absolutely,
Your
absolutely.
arm in your chest like you a puppy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like yeah. Oh, yeah, you get your little traps the first time you can start getting your little traps and stuff from the
Getting a
pull up
massage
bar.
class, you know. Uh-huh.
Hey man. But how okay, here's the question. Is that the mission of CTX Trench Wars for the linemen to start coming out, to start taking more pride in their position? And exactly what does the Trench Wars consist of?
Okay. So the mission is get these linemen out here working on skills that will benefit them come fall ball.
Okay,
That's the mission.
that's the mission.
Okay.
Okay.
So I run 9 different events that all the teams go through, right? And people are like, well, how did you pick these events? Well, it's easy. I went online and I looked at other lineman challenges around the country, right? Now, most are at the high school level. So I did the high school weight, right, at the high school level. Then I'm like, okay, cool. Now I have to make the weight appropriate per age group. You know what I mean? So at the 10U level, on the bench press, they do the 45-pound bar. You know what I mean? And you have 2 minutes to bench it as many times as you can. Then the other events that were at Lyman Challenge, right? The 3-cone L drill, down, back, inside out, the 3-cone drill. Then people call it 2 different things, the shuttle drill or the 5-10-5 drill, right? They do that drill. So we are measuring their quickness, right, on those 2 events. Then their speed, they do a weighted sled pull. Depending on the age group is how much you got to pull that sled 40 yards. We do a farmer's carry with the hex bar, right? So, okay, 10U does just a 45-pound hex bar, run down 20 yards around the cone and come back. We have a stopwatch. Talked about the bench press, so that's those 5. Then we have to make what? We got to make it competitive, right? We have tug of war, right? So
Yeah.
got to fight, right?
Yeah. Gotta bring out that dog, man. That's like bring out that dog. Yep.
It's like blocking is what? A team, not just an individual, a core group team is your front 5 that has to communicate and be as one to block and make that wall, whether it's passing or running.
Mm-hmm.
Then we do a thing called bulldogging. You have a harness strapped down to the kid. They're in opposite directions. Start in the bear crawl position, and you got to drag the other guy across the line. That's measuring your heart. You know what I mean? You got to get down all 4s. What?
Mano.
The old man wins, right?
Yes, sir.
You come up, you flip back. Next thing you know, you get walked like a doggy. Well, I blow the whistle. You lost. You better stay low. So, but that's giving them what I try to give them that dog mentality, like fight no matter what, whether you're getting dragged back a little bit or not. Dig in with your nails and toes and keep fighting. The last 2 events we do one-on-ones. So it's if you and I are going up, right? Okay, I'll be offense versus you be defense. You got to wear a soft shelled helmet and a mouthpiece because we've learned that over the years, little head bumps. I have rules, like if the offensive guy's holding, he automatically loses, right? And I say hit, the defender has 3.9 seconds to get to that tackling dummy. If he does in 3.9 seconds or less, defender wins. If the offensive guy blocks him for 4 seconds or more or pancakes him, guess what? The offensive guy wins. Your team gets a point. Then immediately switch spots. So you just blew me up on defense. Now I get to get my payback on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then we do what? 3-on-3s. Team blocking. Defense is allowed to stunt. So defense. So now you need to communicate.
Yep.
But if those defenders get to that tackling dummy in 3.9 seconds or less, the whole team loses. So you got to be able to yell switch, switch, switch. You got to slide your feet, and you got to block as a team, just like you have to in a normal game. And that's why I made it 3-on-3, not 4 or 5, because realistically, right? All 5 or 6 guys on the line, depending on what your formation you're running, right, have to do that. But if we're running the ball, say to the left on 25 power, right? Those three
Yep.
main blocks do the job. We just made a hole. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yep.
they have to
Absolutely.
fight as a group, as a core unit.
Yep.
And I think if we can start at a young age
Mhm.
and fine tune that at the middle school and high school level, hopefully, you start seeing more kids around here get scholarships, linemen. Because if you look over the last couple of years, right,
Mhm.
how many linemen do you see actually get a bunch of D1 scholarships around here?
That's what I'm saying.
All our
You don't see it.
kids, I can't say all, but 90% are what we call athletes. That's your wide receivers, right? That's your wide receivers, your slots, your corners, your outside linebackers, and your safeties. That's what you see getting scholarships out of here. You don't see many quarterbacks out of here, out of Central Texas, getting recruited every year. And you don't see many linemen unless they have the genetics and that dude's 6'5", 300. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
6'4", 300 pound plus. If they don't have the genetics, you don't see many kids getting recruited to the next level. And I mean the next level, I mean all divisions, D3, D2, D1, Power 5, NAI, you know what I'm saying, JUCO, not just the big schools.
Gotcha.
I mean,
So, what age groups do Trench Wars dedicate? So, what are the age groups in Trench Wars?
we
How
have
how breakdown?
10U, 12U, 14U in high school.
In high school? Okay.
So,
Okay.
to
So, if what would why do you believe okay, what would be your pitch to get more middle schools coaches involved and more high school coaches involved? Give us the pitch of why they need to come out, why they need to come out more.
this is what I ran into, okay, because of UIL rules.
Okay, you are Hill rules. So here we go.
Yeah. The high school coaches, they're very limited on how much they can coach and what they can do, right? Because of UIL rules. So the line coaches and coaches uh, from a school cannot do the trench wars. You know what I mean? That's why, all their skill players play for triple threat and all these other 7-on-7 teams because those coaches can only be involved so much. You see what I'm saying? So what has happened at the high school level this year is um, basically dads are like, hey, I'll sponsor the team, right? So it's only $100 fee for all 4 weeks, all 4 weekends, right? And then they put the team together. You know what I mean? At the high school.
Okay.
Same thing I noticed with the middle school level. It's a dad that'd be like, yeah, hey, I want my son to do this. And then he gets 4 or 5 other buddies from his middle school and they come up. You know what I mean?
Okay.
The,
So if I'm
pro-
hearing you right, hey
the problem is
dad, you
level.
know that your kid is a lineman. You need to create the team, get your boy, all his big boys, buddies, and link up with Joe. Is I'm hearing you right?
So, like, prime example, we got like the Chilton High School teams out there, right? They're not
Yeah.
called the high school teams. They're called the pirate bullies or something, right?
Yeah.
Now, do the high school coaches come out there and watch? Yes, they're out there. You know what I mean? With
Yeah.
that dad in charge, though. You see what I'm saying? I got to go through the dad. The coach is out there watching, right? Same thing, you got the Lions Den, right? Well, that's run by Big Mondo's dad. But guess what? The damn university coaches out there watching. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? You got the Sutton Leopards, right? And out of Lorena. And it's the dad out there. Guess what? Are those Lorena coaches out there watching? Yeah, they stepping back watching and they come up to me, hey, Mr. Joe or Coach Joe, hey, this is some good stuff. We really like this. You know what I mean? So,
Okay.
so that's how you get around at the high school level.
Okay.
And I figure, and this is how I was trying to see it grow. They see these 4 or 5 high school teams right now, right?
Mhm.
Doing it, and they see the kids doing good work on weights that's challenging for them, right?
Mhm.
But doesn't kill them. And they see the competitiveness, and then they see, okay, Now these high school coaches see, okay, I got my bigs over here, they fighting in the trenches. Then I can walk 200 yards over to the right, and I'm watching my wide receiver and quarterback throw slants and 9 routes and out routes to each other, working on their timing form. So it's improving their program as. And I tell people this too. You wonder why certain youth orgs are always strong. Well, and prime example, I'll use the Gators. How the last 3 years have come strong on all their age groups. Well, look at their goddamn 7-on-7 team. It's all their kids that played for them. So now they're getting those young guys from flag moving up to 8U are getting work, right? And guess what? The little pudgy linemen are over here getting work. You see,
Yep.
So that's why they're getting developed now through the spring before they start their summer practices. Who else does that? Waco Southern. We do ours a little different. Whatever you played in the fall, that's what you play for in the spring. You got to get used to the stronger, faster kids if you're moving up from 10U to 12U or 8U to 10U. Use it as a development tool, right? And if you get to you win some games in there or some tournaments in there, fucking great. But use it as a development tool. Instead of trying to make an all-star 7-on-7 team, why don't you develop your kids for your org? And what pissed me off a lot this year was I had coaches from, I'm not going to bust them out, the coaches or the orgs, so don't ask. No, we don't have any interest in it, in trench wars by the kids or the coaches. Oh, really? But yeah, Will from the Saga does a Saga camp, and there's 30 fucking kids out there. Kids from all different orgs across Central Texas, from Temple down, right? There's even a Panther down there, right? That came out to the camp. But anyway, telling me there's no interest in it, but yet now you got Will from the Saga and his volunteer coaches. He got 2 fucking 10U teams. He got 12U teams, a 14U team. You see what I'm saying? You can't tell the team has no interest in it when Will's got 3 of your 5 main linemen. You can't say there's no interest in it when he has 3 or 5 main linemen at 10U, 3 of your 5 main linemen at 12U. You know what I mean?
Hey, for those that don't know, he's talking about Central Texas Saga, which is a youth podcast show. Yeah, definitely need to go look up. He's a founder. Founder is and he's mostly known by Saga One. Very involved in youth sports
Mm-hmm.
in the 254 area. Man, big shout out. And I see the work that you're doing, man. Joe's speaking about it right now because I've seen some of the videos. I'm looking at some of the teams on the paperwork that come across in the group, and literally what Joe is saying, like he got an 8U, a 10U, a 14U. So, and he's grabbing all the linemen
From
that's in the 254 area
Yep.
that want to compete, and he's making teams for them to compete. So for the owners of the Central Texas youth sports teams, there's a need, and I appreciate Will stepping out there doing that additional work to meet that need, so these kids can get the work.
And Will's coming out of pocket for your players. Will coming out of his own pocket and providing a service so your kid can do trench wars because the kid wants to, and the parents. So now he's coming out of his pocket to make your player better, to develop your player in the offseason. Think about that. All those teams paying what, $400? Well, 2 10-year-olds, a 12U and a 14. He paid $400 in registration fees alone. Plus he got them, he's getting them, got them little uniform T-shirts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's coming out of his pocket. He don't have registration fees and shit like them big orgs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, so for the parents, when he's talking about donate, when he's not just parents, but any small businesses, anybody that want to assist, as you hear it straight from the founder of the Trench Wars, Will is running a legit program for the kids. He's running a legit program. So make sure you keep them donations rolling in to support him so he can support the kids.
There you go.
All right.
I did Trench Wars. That's why um, I'm still trying to make it grow more. You know what I mean? I thought the first year I had so many teams. I said, okay, I'll have more this year. But then those teams knock out, dropped off, and other teams came in. So,
Okay. So
but
how can somebody reach you? Because I'm
we
pretty sure like now, hopefully we done stoked the fire real fast. How could a dad who's want to develop a lineman team for his area, how can they reach you?
you can reach me on Facebook Messenger, right under Joe Kaz. When we put out Trench Wars next year, um, my phone number will be in there, so you can call me or text. Um, most people know somebody that knows me. I'm not saying I'm Mr. Popular, Mr. Cool, but I know almost everybody. There's not
Yeah.
a team
Okay.
I know coaches with. You know what I mean? I know 5 or 6 coaches on it. So
Awesome, man. Well, you know what? We're gonna wrap it up with this, man. In regard to us, because this is a Tough That Talk 254. So we majority of our conversation has been around by youth sports, but for in regarding of you as a person, go ahead and give us a breakdown because we want it documented. So when the season starts, ain't no questions. Let everybody know who are the teams that Joe rolls with in regarding of college and professional all sports. Go ahead and break it down. Matter of fact, even high school. Or
what
who's your favorite high school? Who's your favorite teams for NCAA, and who's your favorite professional team? Let's go ahead and get this thing documented.
I'll start with high school because um, I'm not a local boy. I retired down here.
Yeah.
Obviously, I cheer for Lake Belton because that's where my kid plays. I cheer for
Okay. Shout
University
out to the.
players play. I cheer for Temple
Okay.
because that's a lot of my old players play there too. So they're the 3 main high schools that I'm like, all right, let's go throw some ass whoopings down. Okay, college ain't no debate. It's Penn State, buddy.
Penn State, huh?
Oh, State, didn't it? It is. And
That's
everybody,
it. Okay.
and for the last, whole family, I was about 1979. Fly, fly, baby. It's
Fly
bird.
Eagles fly.
Yeah, I'm
Hey
not
man.
worn out. My shirt is. That's a true fan. Brand new sweatshirt. That's a true worn out.
Hey man. Everybody thought it was gonna be Detroit, man. Y'all came in there and showed everybody what's up. Cause we just knew for sure Detroit was gonna win that thing this year. But it's Fly Eagles fly. Hey
And
man.
NBA, it's the Knicks.
Okay.
Baseball, the Yankees, and hockey, it's the Rangers.
The Rangers. Okay.
So
So what you think the Knicks gonna do in the playoff?
they'll get knocked out in the second round.
The second round? Oh man. You already see it coming, huh?
That,
Boston too strong and Cleveland too strong for them.
they just they're the Knicks, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like being a Cowgirls fan. You get your hopes up here, then you just crack.
Hey, through my wise wisdom, through my wise, cause I ain't gonna front. If you look at that picture right there, there's a picture of me and my dad, and I got on the Emmitt Smith jersey, right? And but my dad no longer with us, but I couldn't take it. I gave the Cowboys 40 years. I gave you 40 years, man. 40 years of my life. I moved down the street. I'm rocking with the Houston, Texas, man. In CJ we trust, man. In CJ we trust. I
I
feel
can
like we got a huh?
I can respect that. Go down to Texas.
Yeah, I went down to the Houston, Texas, man. The Jerry Jones show became too much for me, man. It became too much. I couldn't take it no more. My pop's probably rolling over in his grave, man. But I had to do it, Daddy. I had to do it, man. I couldn't take it no more. But hey, man, Joe, man, I appreciate you giving me an hour of your time,
No
man.
problem.
Once again, if you are looking for this gentleman, you can find him on Facebook, Joe Cars. I got it right there on the banner. Trench Wars. Hey, all the dads. And you see that you got a kid that's a lineman. And you know he's not going anywhere. You 6'3", 300 pounds. It's in his DNA. He's going to be a lineman too. Might as well invest that additional time into your kid. And if you see any big guys, hey, let them know, man. With y'all are the heartbeat to the football team. No line, no shine, and that's on both sides of the ball. So, dads, man, get invested. Get invested. Get your kid proud to be on the line. Quit trying to convert your kid into a running back. He is not a running back. He's going to be a good lineman with good feet that's going to make $20 million in the NFL if you put in the appropriate, if you invest the appropriate time. Those who done graduated high school and you done played on the line, or you done played college ball on the line, and you still in the area, guess what? There's an opportunity for you to be a trainer. There's not enough trainers around here. There's kids that need your knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So if you in a position and you're trying to get compensated, there are going to be parents that once they realize that you're already available, they'll be willing to compensate your time to train their kid. They got a 6'4", 250-pound middle school kid. Hey, they need your development. We have to bring back the love on the O line and the D line back to the Central Texas to make these kids proud of it. And it starts at home. They're from home to the coaches, and then from the middle school coaches all the way through high school. Where we have to bring back the love, because we have the bodies, without a shadow of a doubt. I can't go up in HEB without seeing. I'm looking up at a kid, and he like, how old are you? 13. You play football? Nah, I'm trying to play basketball. I'm like, nah, bro, you don't need to be playing no basketball. You need to incorporate football into what you're doing too. And I think it kind of rolled with Joe saying that people are not giving those players enough hype. They're not getting the type of hype and the respect and the attention that they desire.
Yeah. And resources.
Yeah. So we got that's why this interview was so important, man. Appreciate you, Joe, taking an hour of your time. Big shout out to Saga, man. Like you said, CTX Saga. Make sure you follow him follow them, because the Saga 1 and Saga 2. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. But yeah, man, we have to bring back the love. We got to bring back that love, man, because we there's no reason why any kid should feel left out or feel that they're not as important, because football is the ultimate team sport. I don't care how good your quarterback is. I don't care how good your running back and your skill positions are. If they don't have a good quality line, it ain't going to make sense on that football field on Friday night. It ain't going to make sense. It's not going to look good at all. It's not going to look good at all.
That I always tell people. Remember DeMarco Murray, the running back for the Cowgirls?
Yeah, I remember DeMarco. Yeah.
Remember? He was the man. He was the man with the Cowboys, right or wrong.
Yeah, he was. He was that guy.
And where did he go afterwards? To the Eagles. Yep. And there was a time when our line was weak. And guess what? He was out the league in 2 years because we couldn't block and make him holes for shit. But he was the man when he had a line. So he's only as good as the line. I use that as an analogy. Like, look, DeMarco Murray was a monster with the Cowboys because they had a great line at the time, back with Romo and them. Eagles had a shitty line. He goes to the Eagles, and he didn't do nothing.
Yep.
No and line, no shot. Now, Saquon Barkley. Because he's got a line in Philly, and he's running through. You know, he was the man of the Giants, but now he ain't getting hurt, is he? Because he ain't getting 400 hits in the backfield. You know what I'm saying?
Man, he came with y'all, and he was able to truly showcase what he could do with a line, and it's scary. It's absolutely scary to showcase that he gonna be there for another 2 to 3 years easy. I mean, when a guy jumping backwards over people's heads, I mean, in the middle of a game, this is not practice, in the middle of a live game. I only can imagine what he was doing in practice to make him that comfortable to do it in a live game. So, you know, he really showing off. And y'all got something good going on in Philly. As much as it pains me as a former Cowboy fan. Hey, I really don't see nobody touching y'all for the next 3 to 4 years easy. You know, it's definitely gonna be somebody out of conference that got to come calm y'all down. It will take another team outside of the NFC East.
And when we talk about the best teams ever in the NFL or in college, right? Mm-hmm. Is it because they had the best running backs and quarterbacks, or because they had the best O-line and D-line?
It's always the O-line, D-line. A great example, that jersey I'm wearing. Emmitt Smith. In our time, you know, the argument it was always would have been, what if Barry Sanders would have had Emmitt Smith's line? That was always the question. That was always the you know, we old enough to play Madden on Sega Genesis. You know, on Madden we can make an all-star team. That's the first thing you did. You took you sub Barry, you sub Emmitt Smith, and you put Barry Sanders in as running back with the Cowboys offensive line.
And I think that's the problem we need to. Yeah, it's one of the issues that here in Central Texas is to get these kids and these parents to be like, there's nothing wrong with being a lineman. And there's a reason NFL pays linemen more than they do running backs.
And they do. That's the crazy part.
They're the most.
One, you get paid more money and have a longer career. Parents, come on now.
Think about, we're paying Saquon all that money. What's like $22 million over 3 more years, right?
3 years. 3 years.
Lane Johnson makes $24 million a fucking year. So he's
no. It don't even make sense. It don't make sense. Economically, it don't even make sense, parents. Outside of the fact that we're not boasting about how good the line is and how important the line is.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, everybody's trying to be the running back, quarterback. You said that left tackle getting paid $20 million easy a year, easy to year, and he gonna play for 15 years, if not 20.
Exactly.
Yeah. But hey, Joe, man, this been great, man. Once again, if you can locate them on Facebook. Do you also got Instagram, or is it just Facebook?
I got Instagram. It's under Coach Dad.
It's under what?
Coach Dad. Coach Dad.
Okay, awesome. Well, he gonna give you the link, Coach Dad. Hey, I'm gonna put all his contact information in the description of this video. Man, make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow Talk That Talk 254. Make sure you reach out all the dads that got linemen. You know your kid's a lineman. He need development. Reach out to Coach Joe, because he got access to additional resources that maybe he couldn't go into great detail on today's show. If you like, hey, I got a kid, I don't even know where to start. I just know I got a phenomenon. You know what I'm saying? I got a monster at the house. It's eating me out of house and home. Reach out to Joe. He'll guide you on exactly where you need to start, people you need to contact with, and put you in the right position, man, for you to be extremely successful. Because that's basically what we all about, man. We basically trying to take everybody and help them to get better, in any shape or form that we can, man. So, Joe, man, what's gonna be the last words? What's the last words you got to the people?
Good morning, and thank you for everything.
All right, awesome. Hey, man, that's our show, man. That's that Talk 254. Hey, man, once again, make sure you find us on Instagram. You follow us, like us on Facebook, the page on Facebook. Make sure that you subscribe and follow us on TikTok and on YouTube. Definitely go to YouTube to see the full video in which y'all watching now, man. Hey, Joe, thank you for your time, man. You have a safe afternoon, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.
All right, later, Battle.
All right, later.